like with you know, your steaks and your ribs and all that, because I feel like, I mean, I don't know in your house, but in my house, my husband has got that in control, and I don't want to mess with any of that. Hold on, let me just, by continuing the meeting, continue. Okay, I needed to consent to the recording. Okay, so so yeah, I am always in charge in my house for the sides. My husband is always in charge of the grilling and all that stuff. And typically, you know, just an idea throwing out there, we usually like also grilling some portobello mushrooms, and like grilling some zucchini, bell peppers, and you know, some root vegetables. Like I do like some sweet potato fries and all that, and then like that with your barbecue um, animal protein, and with those roasted and grilled vegetables, that is already like a really good like filling meal. Um, but I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. So every time there is a chance for me to kind of look for more dishes and incorporate different kinds of vegetables that we don't normally eat every day. Like I'm always like on the lookout for that kind of stuff. And so today, with the half hour that I have you guys, I'm going to try to go through three, actually, it's two side dishes and one drink. I have prepped most of them so that just to make sure that I get to finish everything in half an hour. Plus, they're all very simple. There's no cooking involved. There's just a lot of cutting, right? So the first one that I want to demonstrate, it's called the Jicama apple bacon slaw. Or before I even begin, all of these three recipes, they're by a, uh, a mother that is a New York Times bestselling author. Her name is Danielle Walker, and she has a bunch of different um, cookbooks. And I borrowed all of them through the library. They came from different RCLS like library systems, but I borrowed all like 4 or 5 of hers. But I follow her because we kind of have health-wise, we have the same journey. She has some autoimmune, like I also used to have. And so we do eat the same kind of food groups. And I mentioned that because typically when I go to, this was like before I got diagnosed, and I was eating the way I used to be eating before. Typically, when I go to a party or a barbecue or something, after I eat, I feel so heavy, I feel so bloated, and I feel so sleepy. And I always think, oh, well, that's always what happens, and that's probably that's like a normal thing. You should really feel sleepy after you have like a big meal. But after I've cleaned up my diet, I took out some food groups. Um, I realized that I could actually eat a lot of food and actually have energy and not feel sleepy and not feel bloated after that. So this woman, Danielle Walker, she has the same journey as I do, and all her recipes, she uses just whole plant-based food, you know, vegetables, and fruits, and you know, some healthy sources of animal protein, and just sticking to just clean ingredients, things that won't make you sleepy. So that's why I highly recommend checking out her cookbooks, borrowing it from the library, and hopefully you find something that you will like and resonate with your taste buds. So today I picked 3 of the ones that I liked. So the first one is the Jicama apple bacon slaw. Um, I don't know if any of you have eaten or cooked jicama as a child. I really like this. I grew up in the Philippines, and it looks like this, if some of you are not familiar. Um, and they don't really taste much like anything, but they kind of have the texture of apple. Um, I always see this at Whole Foods, and also Worry Mart and Northvale also have them. I'm not sure if ShopRite would have them. But yeah, so that's the first ingredient. No, actually, if I follow the recipe, the first ingredient is bacon. So it says here you need 3 ounces of bacon chopped. So you just get a grass-fed, like no hormone kind of bacon in your store, and then you cook the bacon in a skillet over medium heat until it's crispy. So that could take anywhere from, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. And then you drain it on a paper towel, and then you allow it to cool to room temperature. And I've already done that, and it's already on this plate, and I've chopped it all up. So it gives like a nice texture to this jicama bacon slaw. This slaw is a good alternative to your, like, your cabbage or like coleslaw that has like mayo, and some mayos are better than some. But this is like a more refreshing take on a slaw. So after you've done the bacon, now you need the jicama. So I've already peeled. So this is like what half of a jicama looks like. You can use a peeler to peel it, but the skin is a little bit thicker, so it might be a little harder to peel it, so you can just use your knife to peel it. Once you have that, so it says 3 cups of peeled and shredded jicama. I kind of did, just slice them really thinly, and then they kind of look like little French fries. So you just do that, and then, yeah, like I said, like it kind of looks like apples. The texture is like apples. Um, it's a very neutral taste. Um, After that, you also need some carrots, medium carrots peeled and shredded. To save you time, you can always get these carrots. Um, they're like already shredded for you, and they come in a bag like this. Of course, hold on, let me mute myself. Sorry, a little piece went in my throat. But you can get like carrots shredded already. I like getting the multicolored ones. Um, Apart from it being and looking nice on your plate, like each vegetable or fruit, even if they're the same, because they're a different color, like a purple carrot would have, you know, different kinds of nutrients and vitamins than like a yellow carrot or an orange carrot. So the more colors you get, the better. So you just put the jicama in a bowl, and then the shredded carrots. And then you also need some apples. You need to peel. Well, I didn't peel mine because I like eating the skin, because again, there's also like nutrients and vitamins in the skin. And I always buy organic, so that it's okay to eat the skin. I don't have to worry about Monsanto. So same thing that I did to the apple. I chose a green and a red apple. You can choose whatever apple you want. So you need 2 small apples shredded. So I just chopped it up same way I did with the jicama. And then after that, you need to have 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. So I have lime over here. I'm just gonna cut a little wedge. I don't really measure. I kind of just do it by eye. So I'm gonna put that. I probably need another one, another slice. Then after your lime juice, you're gonna need some apple cider vinegar. And again, apple cider vinegar, pick the one that says with the mother. That is really good for your gut health. And you'll see there's like sediments on the bottom. That's what they call the mother. So this is raw and unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Again, organic. Um, so you need, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons.
Christina, you don't have to shake that?
Um, you can shake it, yeah,
Okay.
so that you can kind of get everything in the bottom. Yeah, you can. And then after that, you need some honey. So I like using, raw local honey. I do have a neighbor here. They have their own, um, they have like a bee. They keep like bees in their backyard, and then they bottle the honey, and then I think that's like one of the best honeys I have. Unfortunately, I ran out of that one. And then the next one is a half teaspoon of sea salt. My sea salt is right here. So half a teaspoon. And then you also put some black pepper. So like a quarter teaspoon of cracked black pepper. After that, you're gonna need a quarter cup of chopped fresh cilantro. I just got some cilantro from my herb garden outside, and actually this cilantro just grew all on its own from last year. I thought they were parsley, but my husband tasted it and he told me that they're actually cilantro. So they're very easy to grow. And cilantro, the one thing that I remember with them is that they are good in taking, detoxifying you from like heavy metals, like mercury. So if you have like mercury fillings, sometimes some people are more sensitive to that. Like the silver fillings, those have like mercury in them. And also if you like to eat seafood, some fish have more mercury than others, like tuna. So eating and incorporating cilantro in your dishes will actually be very beneficial. And then actually, that's it. And then you mix all of them together. And then what you do is, then you sprinkle in your bacon, your crispy bacon, and then refrigerate it for at least 15 minutes before you serve this. And then that's your very refreshing slaw, like a nice dish, nothing too like oily because of the mayo. You're not gonna worry of it, like when it sits there and the mayo kind of turns and doesn't really taste good. So that is the first one. Super easy and simple. And I'm telling you, it really tastes good. So I'm gonna put this here.
Does anybody have any questions before we move on to the next recipe? I have one. What could you substitute for jicama if you don't have jicama? What did you substitute?
I don't know. I'm yeah. Um, because it kind of looks like parsnips, right? But
Yeah.
parsnip has a very different taste than the jicama. Then it might not. I haven't tried parsnips raw. I think that's the problem. So I don't know if it's gonna go well. So I don't know. But don't worry, like jicama, I see them all the time in the, like I said, Whole Foods always has them, and Worry Mart in Northvale always has them. Maybe sometimes ShopRite, but I'm not too sure. But definitely the one in Closter, the Whole Foods in Closter has them.
Nancy has a question. Is there a substitute for bacon? Because she has a vegetarian in the family, and can she use walnuts?
Yes, so this again, you don't have to use the bacon. You can substitute it with nuts for that crunch. So like you can do like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, or maybe even like candied walnuts or something, or like pecans or something. So it's a nice base when you can just keep adding other things. But yeah, definitely there is so much room for this dish to add or take away stuff that you don't really eat.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right. So if we're ready to move, are we ready to move to the next one? Yeah? Okay. So the next dish is, this is so simple and it combines like everything that you can think, in the summer. That's why I like this. Again, I don't know if any of you are gardeners like me. I like to grow tomatoes, and this year I'm trying right now to grow some watermelon. So I'm crossing my fingers on that. But my kids love watermelon. I mean, who doesn't love watermelon? It's the signal of summer, right? Like once you see that in the grocery, you're like, ah, summer's here. So this one is called an heirloom tomato, watermelon, and basil salad. So again, another simple thing. So first you need seedless watermelon, and you just cut them up into, take away the rinds and cut the watermelon up, and maybe cut the watermelon into 1 inch wide wedges. But again, just chop it up or whatever shape or form you want, but like small enough so it's easy to eat. And then now get some heirloom tomatoes. However, I mean, I love heirloom tomatoes because of like the color and just like, I just like their shape. Um, and but you can use any kind of tomato. Oh, hold on for a second. Okay. You can use any kind of tomato that you like, and then just slice a tomato up into like thin rounds. So I've done it here. Oh, so this is my watermelon, and then all you got to do is combine, like put your tomatoes in there. So I chose like the deep purple one and the yellow one. Just put it all in the same container. And then the next thing that you need are 2 Kirby or, whatever pickling cucumber that you have. I didn't find any in the store, but I always have like mini cucumbers because my kids love snacking on them. So mini cucumbers work too. And again, just thinly slice them. And then once you have your cucumber, all you gotta do is get some olive oil. And again, like olive oil is really good. It's like a brain food. So the more that you can get olive oil into your food, like in your salads, it's really beneficial for your brain. Put some olive oil, and then for a little bit of some acidity, but just a tiny bit of acidity, you can add champagne wine vinegar. Now, a champagne vinegar, it's very mellow and it's very light compared to a balsamic vinegar. So it's a really nice, light dressing. Um, but you'll find this in any other store. Again, they will have it. If you don't, substitutes for champagne vinegar would be Asian, like a rice vinegar, white wine vinegar, or also sherry vinegar. Although it's a little bit, it's a touch just harsher than a champagne vinegar. But, it's like the next step that you can use. Red wine vinegar and apple cider vinegar can also work, but it's going to be less sweet, and, it's just going to be stronger. Again, like this is very, very light. So it's called champagne vinegar. So you need about a tablespoon of champagne vinegar. And then after that, you're gonna need a half cup of chopped fresh basil. And again, this I just got this from the garden too. So this is a regular basil. And this year I'm growing also some lemon basil. So that's a regular basil and that's a lemon basil. Like you see the difference in the leaf. And I like the lemon basil because it's literally, if you like touch it and taste the leaves, it's exactly like eating a lemon and a basil together, but it's in like one leaf. And again, it's something that's so easy to grow. You can just put the seed on dirt and you water it, and it will just grow. So I have a bunch of them growing, so I'm gonna use this. So you chop it up. I'm gonna use it together with the regular basil.
The deer and the bunnies and all the other little animals bother it, or do you have a
You know,
fence?
I always have my squirrels like dig up
Mhm.
dig up my soil, but I think they're really just looking for whatever they were trying to hide, and then they forget where they hid it. So they don't really care about the plants. It just so happens that they just dig where the plants are, but they don't dig up the plants. So I've always just like sprinkled um, pepper, like cayenne pepper, the spice. So I go to the dollar store and I sprinkle around my my flower beds or my container. And then, I mean, it's probably inhumane because it's spicy for them, but it kind of repels them. And I've done last year too, I've done like hair, like my hair. I put it on on the soil because they think that there's a predator there. So when they feel that, they feel like, oh, there's another animal, a predator that is already staying in there. So that kind of keeps them away. And hair is good for, believe it or not, it is good for your soil. So yeah. But this year, I know last year a lot of people had complained about their chipmunks and squirrels eating everything all up until like Halloween because all the pumpkins were being eaten. Um, but so far, knock on wood, they haven't really bothered me at this time. Okay, so that, and then I just need to put a little bit of salt. But again, it's such a simple dish. It's very nutrient dense. You know, that's how I want my dishes to be. Um, Nutrient dense, really like low in calories. Like, to be honest with you, and I know like some of you who know me, like I've stopped eating bread. And people say, oh my gosh, how can you not eat bread? Um, but you know, like a piece of bread, the calorie of that, and you don't really get much nutrient from it. Like one piece of bread, you can eat all of the fruits and veggies that I showed you here, and it could be like the same kind of calories. So you can get pretty full for a much longer time for the same amount of calories. So that's how I want, like when I make my food, like just pack it in with all these nutrients. But so you just mix it, and then here you are. This is the tomato, watermelon, and basil salad. So now you have those two side dishes. And I think if you grill, like I said in the beginning, if you grill some portobello, grill some zucchini, and grill some bell peppers, then it's a really nice meal to go with your whatever barbecue you choose, whether it's ribs or steaks or like burgers, right? So now for the last one, unless you guys have any questions. Anybody have any questions before I move on to um, the ginger peach sangria? Or how do you say this? Sangria? Sangria? I don't know. Any questions?
I say sangria. Sangria.
Sangria.
I see.
Okay, so let us begin. Now for this drink, you know, this is a nice spring and summer beverage. It's nice to serve over brunch or like a luncheon. You know, it's very fresh. If you like something that's fruity, I like fruity stuff, and a little bit, you know, sweet, then this would be like a good drink to make. You do have to prepare it the day before because you want to like chill it and then let all the flavors like meld together. So for your, this one is a gallon. It comes with a spout. I got this from ShopRite. I think it was like $5. I got it there a while back, and you know, it's like a nice. It's got that nice spout to dispense the drink. So what you're gonna need is one bottle, like a 750 ml bottle, which is the typical size of a wine. You need a dry white wine like a Sauvignon Blanc or a Pinot Grigio. Right now I have a Sauvignon Blanc over here, and then you just have to pour it in. Like this is a nice class to be in person because then
Mhm.
I could like I want to share all of this with you guys so you can like taste and eat, but we'll get there. We'll get back to
We'll
that,
get there
right?
soon
Pretty
enough.
soon.
I feel it coming.
So
Especially
that
your class for sure.
just like old times, right? So now that I've poured all of that in, the next ingredient is a half cup of 100 proof apple brandy. Okay, before this making coming across this recipe, I never knew about apple brandy. Maybe you guys know about it, but I don't know. But basically, it's the oldest distilled spirit. Like as American pie is, I think the apple brandy was also like from centuries ago, because when they were making all the cider and all that stuff, somebody said, okay, let's just put all these apple cider in an oak barrel and leave it, for however many long, and then it became uh, an alcoholic drink. So it's a brandy that is from apples. If any of you have had a cocktail named Old Fashioned, this is one of the liquors that they put in that cocktail drink. So um, with a 750 milliliter bottle of any dry white wine, you're gonna need half a cup of 100 proof apple brandy. This brand is Laird's, Laird apostrophe S. So this is the 100 proof one. 100 proof is the one that they use, to mix into cocktails. ShopRite Liquors in Northvale has them. And I think this was like the first ever brand to do apple brandy from a long time ago. So they have been doing this for quite some time and they're very popular. So I need half a cup. Half a cup. And it's very smooth. If you taste this just by itself, it goes down very smooth and very warm. Like any whiskey drinkers out here. Yeah. And it smells like apples. It smells so good. Now, after that, you're gonna need half cup of peach puree. Now, there's two ways that you can have the peach puree. If you have frozen peaches like I do, you let them thaw. So this has been sitting here for a couple of hours. I always have frozen peaches because I use them for my smoothies. If not, you can also use like two peaches. Just take the pit out and then cut them up and then blend them. So it's gonna be a little noisy because I'm gonna blend it right here. Okay, it's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna stir in this peach puree together with the wine. Mmm. Oh my goodness.
I'm coming over, Christine.
I know, I was just gonna say, who
I
is gonna
know.
come over tomorrow? Because I need help with this drink.
I
I
know.
probably should drop something off at the library tomorrow
Oh,
because I'm gonna be at Galaxy,
after
right?
I'm off.
So now you have the peach puree. I also need to add some honey. You need about 2 tablespoons of honey. And again, if you can get it like a local honey, somebody like in your neighborhood. I know a lot of, I know here in our area, I live here in Sparkhill. And just me being here in Sparkhill, there's one house here that sells honey and another one on Furdon Street on Piermont that also has honey and they sell it. So, and Stokes Farm in Old Japan sells their own honey too. It's nice to get something, where you live so you get all the pollen in your area. And if you have spring allergies, it actually will be beneficial for you because whatever makes you act up, your spring allergies act up, if you get the honey that's from your surrounding area, you're sort of like inoculating yourself with the pollen that's actually causing the reaction. Something like that. But anyway, that's a side note. I tend to like veer off and talk about other stuff. All right, so once I have all of those, you also need some sliced peaches and also some sliced plums. So I've already pre-sliced them. And then all you gotta do is dump them together in here. That's my peaches. And this is my plums. All right. Now, what you gotta do is you cover and put this in the refrigerator. So this is what I meant where this just needs a little bit of prep work. So that's the apple brandy, that's the wine, that's the peach puree, and the peach and plum slices. Now you gotta let this sit in your refrigerator overnight to chill and allow all the flavors, to meld together. Now, the next day, if next day is your barbecue, all you gotta do is add 2 additional ingredients, and that is your ginger ale and also either basil leaves or mint leaves. Okay, I gotta talk about this ginger ale with you guys. So this one is an unfiltered ginger ale. They only use fresh ginger and organic cane sugar. Um, you see a lot of the ginger still in it. Oh, okay. This is already opened. My kids love this, so they probably opened this one. It's spilled. But anyway, I maybe it's hard to see, but so it's not clear, but you still see a lot of the ginger in it, the sediment. So they purposely leave that in, so you get all the benefits. So it's real ginger. So don't use like the ginger ale soda because there's just stuff in there that is not good. So you can look up unfiltered ginger ale. This one I got from Whole Foods in Closter. They sell them as a 4-pack. They come like this, and they actually taste really good. Smells good, very light. It's sweet. But yeah, so the next day when you take this out of your refrigerator, all you gotta do is add about 1.5 cups of your ginger ale in here, and then put some basil leaves or mint, and then get ready to serve. And that's it. So it's a drink that has some alcohol, but also some ingredients that are really beneficial for you. So it's a no guilt way of feasting. That's it.
That looks great. The brand of the ginger ale again.
Bruce, like Bruce Willis, and cost, COST. So unfiltered ginger ale, Bruce Cost.
Do you put any ice in this? How do you keep it cold? Is it with that ruin?
Oh, with this one?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You can put ice in it. You can do that so that it's like colder. But yeah, but maybe just put the ice on the glass itself and then dispense this, because then if you put it in here and it's sitting there for quite some time, then you don't want it to be too watered down. But it's definitely best enjoyed chilled and cool. Yep. And then you can just have the ginger ale if you have extra, like straight on by itself. It's really good.
Excellent. Yep. Wow.
Well, I hope you guys learned something. I don't know if any of you have any questions for me.
Anybody? You can unmute yourselves if you'd like.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Sounds delicious, Christina. Very refreshing.
Thanks, Gail. Yeah, I hope you try it and let me know how it goes.
I will.